to deposit her checking account at ATM, and she took out $75 in cash. So $75 cash, I'm just gonna write that down so I can remember it. The checks deposited totaled $50 less than twice the currency amount. So $50 less than twice currency. But make sure I don't get on the wrong prop, because those two look the same, and I might jump back and forth. The total deposit was $25 more than the check amount. $25 more than check amount. Determine the amounts. Determine the amounts. Martha deposited in checks and in currency, as well as the total deposit. Alright, so she kept out $75 in cash. So we'll keep that towards the end. Somebody remind me that that's what that's for. So $50, I should have wrote this down. This is the total, right? Total deposit, I think that's what that was, right? $25 more than the check amount. $50 less than twice the currency. This was the total of the checks, right? Should write that down to start with. So we need to somehow maybe shorten this up a little bit. How can we throw some variables in here? What are the things that we don't know? What are the things that we're looking for?
You need,
We need the check total, right?
check total, the total amount.
And one other thing.
Total.
That's total deposit and the currency, right? Regular money. So, what can we put on here?
Well, wouldn't the, currency be 75?
No, that's how much we're taking back. So that's how much we want to keep out once we make the deposit. So what if we did this? Let's make currency, we'll make it X.
Make check.
Maybe we'll make it Y. We'd like to keep it down to one variable if at all possible. So we know that the checks are $50 less than twice the currency. So when you say less than, what do you got to remember? If I say 2 less than 7, what's 2 less than 7? How'd you get that?
Divided by 2.
But what'd you have to do to the numbers? You had to flip them around, right? So this is saying $50 less than twice the currency. So twice the currency is gonna have to go first, and 50 is gonna have to go.
So it'd be 2x.
So it'd be 2x minus 50. That equals the checks, right? That's how much the checks were for. Because that's what it said, checks were equal to that. So we got something like that right there.
So then if we're total deposit, could we do C?
So 25, total deposits, $25 more than the check amount.
So plus.
So $25 plus, now if we, again, we tried to stay away from putting another variable in there. But what do we know about the check amounts? So could we put that in there?
Yeah.
That's the total deposit.
Then you subtract. Or
Now let's see, what can we do here?
you take this right.
Okay, so we got 2x, we can simplify this, right? That's 2x minus 25 equals the deposit. Just simplifying this down, ignore those straight marks there. But what can we do with that?
Can you minus 2x and then minus 4?
What should the deposit be? Let's do this. Deposit should be the currency plus the checks. Not plus, sorry, it should be minus 75, right? Well, what did we say the currency was? We let it equal what? So could we stick X in there? Now the checks, didn't we figure out something for the checks? So we could stick that in there. Minus 75.
Yeah, geometry.
Out.
Algebra, geometry, is all the same.
Did we figure out what the total deposit was?
Yeah.
2x minus 25. You think I'm gonna throw a bunch of stuff like this on the test?
No, I hope not.
Probably not. Alright,
Algebra.
so this is, we got, how many x's here? 3x minus 125 equals 2x minus 25. What are you gonna do with the x's?
Minus,
Minus 2x on both sides. I'm running out of space down there, so
would you come out to x minus 25 equals
x,
1x minus.
it's on this side, right? X minus 125, and what's still left on the other side? Negative 25, now what?
You come out.
Be careful. X equals 100, right? Well, what was x? So how much money did we deposit in actual money? $100 in money.
Okay, so 2 times 100. It's 200 minus 50 is 150.
So how much in checks? 150. Now, if we add those two together, what's that give us? 250. Is that the total deposit? Be careful.
250 plus 75.
Not plus 75, minus, because that's the money that we're gonna stick in our pocket when we walk out. So 250 minus 75 is 175.
That's kind of crazy. A lot of work. This is what we had to do in algebra all the time. So.
I got a question.
I know, the work part's the part that,
Makes you grow.
all
I
right.
kind of forgot.
It sort of sounds like it when you say that's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work. I wasn't.
Life's a lot of work, yeah.
I did a lot of work.
Other questions?
So the answer is 175.
All three of them, they said they wanted all three. How much in checks, how much in currency, how much in the total deposit?
I like the next chapter, it should write numbers.
What, next chapter?
Yeah, it says get ready for the next lesson. We're probably gonna skip that one.
No, it's probably not just writing numbers, it's probably, they're just showing you, hey, you're gonna have to do this next chapter and some of the problems. Other questions? Ally, you just ready?
For what, the test?
Yep.
We're not taking a
What?
test today.
Yeah, we are.
You got the email.
You didn't get an email?
It was in the email.
Well,
What email?
I noticed Kylie's got a sucker in her mouth. I'm gonna say this.
Try to suck up you.
No, I'm gonna be a complete and total jerk coming up here real soon if I find any more candy on my floor or in my little pouches where somebody put their sucker in there. Sucker, I'm sorry, not the sucker. sucker stick.
Sucker stick.
I
There-
chew on mine, so
Just make sure it doesn't end up on my floor or in my little pouch.
Or in there.
Nothing, so much fun to pick something up off the floor out of the pouch that somebody's had in their mouth.
like I know I chew.
All right, what we're gonna do today, again, we're gonna do a lot, and we gotta sort of hurry through this, because we're gonna do a worksheet in class, then we're also gonna do the assignment right here in class. You're gonna turn them both in before you walk out. That way Elijah can't lose his. Pop, pop, pop. Most of this, we covered most of this last time anyway, so what we're covering today is just writing checks and a little bit dealing with the check register. So sort of the same stuff, but you're gonna have to write the checks.
I didn't take one of the class 2 years in a row.
I don't know about them.
Mr. Wendell got mad when we first made this class.
Oh,
You don't need that class, you got my class, you don't need to do that. They can take my class.
Some people don't want to take.
He just sits there on his computer and falls asleep.
Hey now.
Hey, it's like you sit there in that chair and go to Highly Lane.
I don't fall asleep when I have kids in my class, do I?
Well, you don't have kids in your class.
You don't have class.
But-
Oh, I'm sorry, you don't have a class. I sort of said that wrong, didn't I?
I give you my point though. He's.
Well, he's old. He ain't like
That's
you.
not my problem.
He's old.
Talk about it.
What, are you gonna write, or are you gonna
You get in there.
write? It's taking forever.
She's just thinking about it. Should I write you?
Checking account, a checking account. An account held at the bank that gives you convenient access to your money, so you can write checks. Most time now, it's not writing checks, and most time now it's using your ATM card, your bank card, instead of writing checks.
When Dad would grab, give me a check to put in fuel in the truck, I'll hand it to the gas station lady, yeah, you fill it out.
A lot of times now, I think Walmart does it even, with the machine, right, they have the cash register that runs it through. Now, you gotta be careful with that. Seems like we did it once, and it like voided our check. It'll do that, because we have the same machine. It-
What, the automatic?
Yeah, it just.
Like you run through the automatic machine?
Well, you
You
still
can
can.
fill it out, but it just like copies the information.
That's ridiculous.
Oh, well, some of them fill it out too.
The Walmart one does, but
Yeah.
ours you have to like write it out.
But the Walmart one voided ours and didn't pay for anything, it just like canceled the check. And then we had to use something different to pay for it. I think that's what it does. I don't know, it's been a long time.
Some places they fill it
Yeah,
out.
all right.
You go fill it.
I don't know, Dylan, you better be careful letting somebody else, cause I'll tell you what.
Dylan already checked.
you know,
Oh, I trust them. This new guy, I think that's.
Yeah, you give me your checkbook, I'll never check you.
It ain't my checkbook, it's grandpa's.
You better make sure you trust them.
That's even better.
They've been working there since it started.
There was plenty of times.
They know our names, though. Like, they've known our names.
Oh, I know a lot of people's names. When I worked at the convenience store, that didn't mean, if I needed money that day, it didn't bother me too much to take 50 cents extra from this person or $1 extra from this person.
So what you do, just take 50 cents out of the drawer, put it in your pocket?
I don't take it out of the drawer because I get fired for that. I take it
Go back.
How's it work?
$18.50 and.
$5 to $1.50.
Right.
So how do you put that, how do you take it back?
Or you just, or you just don't, you just don't give them back the right amount of change about half the time that people don't look at it.
I never look at it.
Well, yeah, I made it cash. I'm talking about check.
A check, I just write out the extra and I take the money out of the registry.
Yeah, that's what I was
That
talking
they give
about.
back. I ain't look at that. Just stuff it all in my pocket. When I get home, I'm like, oh, I got more money this week.
You better watch.
That's how I am.
You gotta watch doing that at convenience stores, cause you get. ripped
Don't
off
do
at
that in
convenience
Cassie's in
stores all the time.
Greenville.
The hothead in,
Vandalia, they're notorious.
I tell
People
people,
just don't know how to count. Work there, they make 500 a day, short people change, they just split it.
Question.
yes, sir.
What do you do if you caught the person stealing your money?
Say
You
something.
get in trouble for
You do like, hey, look, Howard.
Now, see, when I would do it, I would, you know, I'd short them $1, and if they happen to notice it, I'd, oh, sorry, that's counted wrong. But once they walk out the door, that
I've never counted my change. I mean,
Sorry, I counted it wrong. Look,
I was about to say, your projector is best.
Sorry, I counted that wrong.
calm down, it's messing up on me.
I blow so much money a day, it don't really hurt me. I go pull more money out of ATMs.
Dylan's one of those that would be
I'm
coming
not
into
Kyle
my
Johnson,
convenience
that's
store.
$1,000.
I would do it too all the time. Oh, I need that, I need to buy me a candy bar.
Oh, I would catch it like,
I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find me $1 for somebody.
I bet I could catch it.
No.
He said, well.
$1.50.
This thing sounds like a candy.
You gotta think this, Dylan, that's your dollar $1.50, it's not something.
If I finally caught on it right there, well,
Something sounding like a
I
generator.
heard something on the radio this morning where, and I was just at a dollar store the other day. The dollar store are getting in trouble because they put the wrong prices on on their shelves. And the last 4 times I've been in there, like I buy my 2 liters or something in there, cause they're like $1.25, and they charge me like $1.90 for them. I'm like, oh, wow.
No, it's
That's it.
Oh, yeah.
It's $1.25 back there, why is this $1.90?
so you get it for $1.25?
He said no.
If you go to Walmart and you take a, item off or something and take it to something else, you get it cheap.
Yeah, they catch on right stuff.
They go.
Walmart has serious,
Heck, that'll get, buy one, get one free.
They
Who?
Target. Target's great. I know that we used to, some of the stores I worked at, we kept pictures of the people down below the counter there.
Not at all.
The cops don't even show up
to get $1,000. They didn't use shoes or anything.
What?
Cold, they don't try and stop people.
Yeah. I don't like, I don't like stealing from companies because companies just,
Corporate chain, it's free reign.
they just put that money, that charge, they lose $1,000 today, well, then that means their prices are going up and they charge you right back to me the next time I'm walking in there. But if Dylan's coming in and he's just a personal, you know, just a normal person, him, I don't mind taking $1 from him. If he's not smart enough to catch on, then I'm taking $1 from him every time, then that's his own silly. Dylan, I know I'm just using you, I'm not saying that you're dumb, cause you know, I care, don't.
You know what Dillard's is?
Catch appliances, shoes, clothes, home decorations, everything.
Everything but not TV.
You got hit Best Buy store.
Writing a check.
They might catch you.
Check is just a paper document. We talked about last time, directing a bank to deduct money from something. Also, with the ATM cards, be careful with your ATM cards.
Do not lose those.
I'm not just saying don't lose it. You use it somewhere. Make sure you know what you're doing. I know when I was working at the convenience store and ATM cards and bank cards and all those cards were just starting to get big. Now it's pretty, you know, most every store has somewhere to slide it or whatever. When I first started working at the convenience store, we still had to slide it on that machine where you actually physically slide it and get the numbers down and it imprints it and everything. If I'm doing that, guess what else I can do? I got all those numbers. So I can use that account. Alright?
I feel like Mr. Ebersole did. I feel like he stole a lot of money.
I feel like he's just trying to teach us
So don't,
This
you know,
is back
make
up
sure you're
on-
careful with your cards. Make sure, there for a while, I haven't heard a whole lot about it here lately, but there for a while, people that deal with computers, which I'm not smart enough to do, but they were like sliding little,
It's so
other,
easy.
other little cards into where you slide your ATM card, and it reads all your information.
Or
When you
just
do
like
that.
them cover very much.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
just identical to the pin pads and it slides right on, it's just transmitting right back.
And then, most of them, they're pretty smart, cause most of them don't actually use them. They sell them to other people, so those other people get busted, and then it can't be traced back to them. So they just sell your numbers to other people. I know, it's been several years now, banks and stuff are a little better at it, but we've had, once I remember the bank calling us and saying, hey, did you spend $8,000 out in, it was like San Diego or somewhere? And I said, no, I ain't never been to San Diego.
No, so no.
Well, somebody's got your account then, they had to shut down our account and everything, so. A lot of cards now, and that's another thing, make sure that your bank or any credit cards that you have, when you get it, does it have some kind of policy that they will back you if somebody does
I never had
steal your stuff?
$1,000 in my bank account, let alone $8,000.
That's the thing,
That was
I don't have that much in there either, so
Oh,
that's
you
why.
just made that number.
That's, no, that's, they spent that much.
He did what
That's
he
why
did.
the card kept declining.
All right, when you're writing a check, we talked about this, last time. Make sure you write the date in, always write your checks in pen, why not pencil?
Cause it
You
used
can
to
erase it,
you
you
have to
erase
just
it.
add it.
All right?
Not really.
$20.
Still some here.
Write the name of the person, organization, whoever you're making the check out to. Write the amount of the check as a number. Write the amount of the check in Word form.
You should show me how to write a check.
We're getting ready to. Make a notation on the memo line, telling what it's for. This is the one that a lot of people don't do. Make sure you make a notation, what what the check is for, otherwise, a month from now, when you get that return check from the bank, you're thinking, why did I spend $32? Well, now it's mostly electronic. If you get on your account, they'll show you the return checks on there. Cause the checking account that I have for the school here, they started making me do it electronically, cause they started charging me $1 each month for the paper form. And so I said, all right, I'll do it electronic, and now I gotta get online and look at it and say, okay, this check, it's back, this check is back, this check is, went through or whatever. Make sure you sign the check. Again, my mom, there was a couple of times I remember paying DP&L when we didn't have any money, and she'd forget to sign the check and send it to DP&L. Then it takes a couple of weeks for them to send it back to you, say, hey, you forgot to sign your check. By that time, then we'd have money and she could sign it,
Or
and
you just
then we wouldn't be
fill out a
overdrawn in
rubber
our
check.
checking account.
rubber check.
Now that won't work, it doesn't work anymore.
What do they do now?
Now they just
Shut
charge,
off.
now they just charge you the money because they can call the bank and say, or electronically get with the bank and say, any money in this account? No.
Can you go back?
Yep.
Rubber checks are pretty nice, yeah,
There you go.
that calls them. When you give a check Thursday night before you get paid on Friday, works pretty good. But you gotta go to places that don't.
You gotta be careful of that now too, because everything is quick
I'm in
now.
Madison,
Yeah, maybe some smaller places.
like
not.
it's a small community gas station.
The bad thing is, them taking your money very, very quick. If you get paid on Friday, like, if I get paid Friday and it's a direct deposit, that money's not in my account till Monday. Right, it takes time for the bank to, so if you went to the bank today and gave them a $500 check to put in your account, it wouldn't show, it would probably show up Friday. You gotta give them 48 hours
Not my bank.
before, yeah,
My
anyway.
bank, it'll show up.
It might show up, but it's,
My bank only gives me a certain amount. They'll give me like 50 to 100 depending on the size of the check.
Yeah, I
and
was
then the
about to
rest
say,
of
mine
it
gives me like
days later.
$60 whenever I do that.
so you gotta be careful thinking that, hey, I just put in $500, that money's there so I can spend it, because no, it's not there until,
However, I can go, get this out, go direct deposit, Thursday morning, by the time I got off work at 6,
now, maybe if, with direct deposit, it might be that way because maybe the bank and the
Direct
whatever.
deposit's pretty clear ahead. They
Right.
do the amount.
So, the main thing I'm talking about is if you write a check and go try to deposit it in your account, so Dylan goes out tonight and he writes a check for $100,000.
Well, yeah, like a higher number is gonna take a little
That, well, a higher number really takes a long time.
Just the check in
Because anything over 10,000 takes like 72 hours or something for them to process it or something. You'd have to check with your bank to make sure. Seth, did you get it? Or did that go too quick? Sorry.
I mean, I threw $76, $700, like $60-something in my account. It's probably just if you have like over $1,000.
Well, the good thing too is, you know, if you go, you put the money in and then you're going out and spend it somewhere, depends on where you spend it at. If you're going out and you're giving Ebersole the check, and I'm not gonna deposit my bank for a couple days anyway or something, then it probably won't matter. But if you're going to some big business where they're gonna electronically send it right away or something, then it might make a difference.
Oh, shoot. I can take a nap right now.
Yeah, might as well. I'm gonna wait.
Gotta make the magic look like I could.
It's worksheet that Bo's passing out. We're gonna do it, or you're gonna do it. Should only take you a few minutes. There's 4 checks there. You're gonna write those 4 checks. On the second page is a check register. You're gonna have to fill that in too, and I'm gonna show you here in a second how to write the check and stuff and do all that.
Do you have
I didn't
some
do it this time, Seth.
or
Are you done or not? Did you get finished?
What's the rest of 5?
Here. They just switched on us. I didn't do it on you
Do
this
you
time.
want us to go in pen?
It does, these, I don't care if you're doing pen or not. Should be in pen all the time if you're actually doing a real check though.
$15 to Jack Ebersole for a higher grade.
Mayor, should I cut out?
I didn't say how much higher, it's not gonna be much for $15.
Done. Good.
What about 15 grand? Would you pass?
Yeah, then.
I mean.
To write a check again, just to show you this, today is the, what, 2nd, is that right? So 11/2/22, when you're writing this check, pay to the order, you're gonna put the person or company's name here. The amount goes here. Gonna pay me $200. This line, you gotta write it out, 200. When you write out the amount here in words,
No spaces.
no spaces, leave it all the way over there. This time there's 0 cents, so 0 out of 100. The memo line is what it was for. Because he is a nice guy.
$22.
That's why you gave me the 200. And then
58 of
you sign it. Does everybody sort of understand the check part? Think you can handle those?
Yeah, make sure you,
over again.
a lot of people don't know, they say, make sure you put a dash in there, so
Right.
they can't write.
Make sure you put this in there so it can't be, and we talked about this last time, make sure you start the number right at the start of this box, so there's no way to put anything in front of it. The other thing, door,
Who's that?
on the registry, on the check registry,
What's the number?
what it's for. On the check registry, each time your checks, this is where the check number goes. So I think your first check is like 0001. Put the date, put who it's to. All the checks that you're writing are going to go in the withdrawal column. So you're going to put like whatever it is, $200. Usually in your check registry, skip lines. All right? The check registry is the second page on your worksheet. So each one of your checks, you're going to write it in that check registry also. That's where you keep track of your checks. Everybody sort of understand all that?
I know how to write
You
checks.
said slip lines?
Yeah, usually, if you got a big business or something, and you write a whole bunch of checks, then you might not skip.
So this thing down here is to write your signature.
That is your signature, yep.
November 11th, right?
Yep.
Okay. Let's double check.
But if it's just your personal checking account and you're only writing a few checks per year, maybe 100 per year at the most, then I'd skip a line. It makes it easier to keep
What
track
happens
of
if you
everything.
spell it wrong? Will it hurt anything if you
Spell what wrong?
The number wrong.
If you spelled it,
3 or 20.
now if the check's for $250 and you write
$22.
right, then yes, it will.
But if you spell it wrong.
If it's
it doesn't
just
make it-
spelling, like if you spell 20 TWINTY,
Like I did.
they're not, is that how you spell it?
W-E-N-T-Y.
That's all right.
Now you spell it?
Yes.
You do? This is what I hate.
How do I write the
So you
check?
call it in it, and pull it right back out, and you already done
Because
it.
this is actually important.
It's not that important.
If you weren't late, you would know.
Did he give you the direction?
It's very important, Keith.
Directions?
Jam.
As soon as you get these done, hand them in. I'll put the assignment up here. The assignment that I'm gonna put on the board out of the book, due today also. Before you walk out. Ready, Keith?
Yep.
I'm just making up something, Keith. This isn't, you'll have to do your own on your own, all right?
Yep.
So, we're gonna write a check. Today is the, second, so we put the date up there. 11/2/2022. We're gonna write the check to Mr. John Smith,
Okay.
all right? That's what goes in this line, just who you're writing the check out to. Some of the ones that you had there, one of them's like Walmart, so you just put Walmart there. One of them's John's Auto Repair or something, you just write the name of the company or the person there. Over here in this box, you write the amount of the check in number form.
And you make sure there's not a space, right?
No space in the front. So if we're John Smith, we're writing a check out to John Smith for $75.30, let's say. So I put 75.30 in that box. Ignore that straight line going up through there. This line, you have to write out this number in word form. So it'd be like 75. And then you draw a line here so there's no space there, and you put a fraction. It's 30 cents out of 100. So whatever your cents are goes on top and then 100 on bottom all the time. The memo line is what it's for. So, let's say we were paying John Smith for work that he did for us. I don't know what, whatever it was. And then here is just your signature.
You don't put that memo, like, it don't really matter, you
It
don't
don't
have
matter,
to,
you
do
can
you?
just, if you, when you get
You just don't know what it was for.
Or like for your taxes.
No, I'm
like
just
if
saying.
you-
Right, if you're writing stuff off, then it might be real helpful. That makes sense? Now, the other thing you gotta do, once you've done that on the second page, this is your check register. You're gonna write the check number in this space, the date in that space, the description here, like John Smith for work or something, and that, and then the amount of the check's gonna go in this space.
Okay.
This is just your check register so that you can keep track of where your money went to.
For higher
The
grades.
longer middle column, that's where we would put who it's to, right?
This one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where you put who it's to and what it was for.
Okay.
This is all for your records, so what you write in there is just for your benefit.
Do you have any other sharpeners? There. 170. I'm not good at numbers. This 5.
That's the assignment. Once you get done, you got about 40 minutes. Once you get done with the checks, you can lay them right up here on this desk in front of Bo.